This episode of the Wayang Crew Podcast is brought to you by Times Cineplex. Hey guys, it's Kev.
What's up? This is Naz.
I am Tibby.
This is Del.
And y'all know who this is.
And we are
The Wayang Crew.
Oh yeah.
Welcome back, everyone, to yet another episode of the Wayang Crew Podcast. It's me, Kev, once again, on this weekly show where we talk about all things movies, especially movies that are playing here in Brunei Darussalam. Up next, it's my first co-host. It's Del.
Hello.
What's up?
What's up? I don't know, like, this is where you ask me, what have you been up to? And then I'll reply, well, work, and just came back from KL.
Nice.
I went there and did an open mic.
And how did that go?
It was okay. Testing out new material. Nothing really flew. So, need to work on them for our next show.
Yeah, the next show.
Whenever that's gonna be.
Whenever that's gonna be. All right, up next, it's the other co-host of the podcast. It's Kai.
Sup, Kev. Before you could ask me, I asked you.
I was waiting for y'all know who this is.
Oh,
failed again.
No, but Del knows I'm going through what I call the modesty machine. So I'm learning to be humble now.
Learning.
Yeah. It's not something I was born with. Humility.
Just now.
Since yesterday, actually.
Okay.
So I'm more open to criticism. I accept that I can't control everything in my life, and I'm gonna try to be zen from now.
All right.
Yeah.
How was episode 8?
It was what it was, Like, these films they're made by a studio, and I shouldn't define my life by them.
He survived the burn test.
Yeah, I did.
All right, and this week she's back on the podcast. It's been a while since we heard from her. It's Nikkei.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
I noticed you have like a brace on your knee. What's that all about?
Yeah, so I've been away, if anyone noticed. I was busy training for comm and I got injured.
For what?
For competition.
Oh, competition.
Yeah,
okay.
comm, sorry, it's our cool way of calling it.
The
comm.
lingo of the business.
Yeah, the comm.
Yeah, competition. So now I have an injury and I'm going through a recovery, so I have time for this now.
Ouch. Well, thank you for that. Are you still going for the comm?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I am.
You're determined. All right.
Yeah.
This week on the podcast, we are not going to be reviewing a movie, but what we will be doing is we will be talking about two topics today. First, we will be talking about and rating the Mission Impossible movies, all 6 of them, to see where we think they stack up from 1 to 6. And we will be also talking about our favorite shark movies because next week we are getting to see The Meg.
Are we?
Yes.
Oh.
It's coming to Brunei next week.
Okay.
So in anticipation of The Meg, Kai and I thought, we might as well just talk about some shark movies that we remember, or maybe not.
Or not.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
We'll see. All right, let's get to the first bit of the show, which is the news as usual. Did you guys check out the new Venom trailer?
We did. Yeah.
Yep.
What did you think?
Yeah, it's a movie.
It's gonna be a movie.
Do you want me to switch off the modesty machine for tonight?
Yes, please.
I still don't understand the point of this movie. My tone just changed.
I know.
I don't understand the point of this movie. And as I was, we said this off air. I have no doubt in my heart that Tom Hardy must have nailed that audition. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gotten the role.
I don't know. Does Tom Hardy still need to audition?
So here's the thing. Unless a project is being produced by the star, there's a chance you'll have to at least meet the director and sit down to talk about it.
Okay, let's just to get a feel.
Yeah. So this is this third footage we've seen.
Third trailer, yeah.
Because the first one was a teaser footage with nothing.
And it looked like it was for another movie.
Yeah, and then the second was the one that ended with "We Are Venom," and this is like the full-on trailer, so to speak.
So we see a lot more in this movie.
Yeah, so when it opened with Tom Hardy's voiceover, I honestly did not. What is going on? Like, I don't. What? Like, what? And why does he have that tone? Why does he have that sound?
That American accent, like
but it's just not the accent. It's the intonation. It's the way he speaks. And then there was a bit where the Venom symbiote starts talking, and I thought this was very nice because it was like the cartoons, and it was kind of how I've always imagined him to sound. And then that bit happened in the convenience store at the end, and at the end of the trailer, I was like, what am I looking at? What is this supposed to be?
Some of the effects also look like they weren't completely done.
I
just
haven't
yet.
seen it on a big screen, but I did see the transitions look quite unimpressive.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
No, it wasn't.
I like how the artistic concept, like the direction that they're taking, but it feels like it's not finished.
No, I will probably say Riz Ahmed as Riot looked really good. And there's potentially Scream, the female symbiote is there, but I don't know what to make of it. What do you guys think?
Well, if we were talking about the international poster, which is what Kev's question was about.
No, it's a trailer.
Trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought we were talking about the poster.
No, we're talking about trailer.
No trailer.
Okay.
But it's tough being human.
Yeah. So what did you think of the third trailer for Venom, which we got a couple of days ago?
Yeah.
I thought it was a much better trailer than the previous ones.
Okay.
So I think I agree that Tom Hardy sounded weird, but I think he's going for the very rough, maybe like a middle class kind of character. That
Would you say he's a warrior?
No? Not in this movie.
He could be the bane of someone's existence.
Yeah.
No,
He's
it's
gotta be mad.
It's just I don't know. It's just a character that he wants to do for this movie, and I am open to his interpretation.
Okay.
It's better than the rest, but it's just as unforgettable as the rest.
Nice. That was
Yeah.
what I was gonna say. It doesn't impact you in a way that I want to see that on like
Yeah,
the full
you know,
streaming.
because obviously if you talk about Venom, you gotta talk about Spider-Man 3, right? Because that was the first time we ever saw it.
Topher Grace.
Yeah, but when we see the trailer for Spider-Man 3 when it first came out, you just couldn't wait to see Venom.
Yeah.
This is a glorified Venom film.
It's called Venom.
Yeah, right, last I checked, yes.
Yes.
You know, I'm just not counting down to it.
Yeah, the only plus side is Riz Ahmed. Like, the only thing I can visual right now after seeing the trailer is Riz Ahmed.
Yeah, that
That's it.
scene when the two of them were going
Yeah,
against each other.
that's it. It's
Yeah, Riot and Venom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, that's the trailer. We also got a Japanese poster for the movie.
Yeah.
Showing Venom and in all his glory. This was released by Sony at the same time the trailer came out. I think this poster looks really good.
It really does. It looks like a panel out of a comic book.
It does. It really, really does. With the saliva and with the extended jaw opening up.
The poster for this, it's a Japanese made for the Japanese, and it looked like it's made for the Japanese market because it is like the monster is being featured. And Japanese.
It looks very manga.
Yeah,
kind of,
I guess it's like you're selling to a country that gave the world Godzilla.
Yeah, that's very. I can see it. Yeah.
Well, we just talked about the Venom movie that's coming out in November. They still got a couple of months to go, but I think they're sort of locked into maybe the visuals. There maybe is some time to touch up, just like how they touched up Spider-Man Homecoming. By the time the third trailer came out and we saw the second trailer and the third trailer, there were scenes that were touched up and looked much better in the third trailer before Spider-Man Homecoming came out. The scene in question was when he was pulling the ferry together.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens with Venom. That's coming out at the end of this year. Up next, we got some photos from the Terminator set. And it shows Sarah Connor with two other female characters.
Yeah, so
It looks like the poster of that movie. I think it was Jamie Foxx and Jennifer Garner. I think it's Three Kingdom or something. It reminds me of that movie.
Okay,
I
so
think it's Three Kingdom.
Anyway, Paramount released this photo from the set of Terminator 6, and it shows Linda Hamilton, who plays Sarah Connor, and she's joined by Natalia Reyes as Danny Ramos and Mackenzie Davis as Grace. Mackenzie Davis was in Blade Runner 2049, and it's just three of them. And Kai brought this up just before we started recording. Mackenzie Davis's character looks like a Terminator because she's got scars, like on her chest and on her arms, so she might be a cyborg of some sort.
Possibly. I don't understand what this movie is going to be based on what we've seen.
Yeah.
Because
It's a female empowerment movie.
Well,
from James Cameron,
James Cameron,
the man who's about to change the world again with Avatar 2, 3, 4, and 5. Because we've been told that it's a sequel to Terminator 2.
direct sequel, yes.
A direct sequel to Terminator 2. And there was a picture of a young Edward Furlong lookalike John Connor and a young Arnold Schwarzenegger
like
lookalike.
the body stand-in.
Yeah. But yet here is Sarah Connor looking much older.
Yep.
And possibly a new type of Terminator. I'm trying to reconcile what they're saying and what we're seeing. And I'm not sure where we are in that.
Well, we'll never know until actual plot details come out.
Yeah, and I feel like the previous Terminator movie made the same mistake. They released pictures before they released any footage.
So there was no context. There was
No, and so the picture they released back then was a picture of Emilia Clarke with the Jason...
Jai Courtney.
Jack Courtney.
Jay Courtney. And again, it was like, okay, what's this supposed to be?
Okay.
But isn't it the same way that movies release pictures? The pictures come first, then the synopsis comes later.
Usually, if the pictures are released, they're stills from the film. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? A lot of stuff, for example, Aquaman, when they release those pictures, they're stills from the movie. They're scenes. They're not pinups.
Oh, yeah.
With this one, my question is, there cannot possibly be a scene. This isn't the scene, right? It's a pinup, like a picture. I'm not getting the context of the film.
Did Captain Marvel release that officially that picture that we saw of her in the suit in the green and black?
No, that's a set
No,
picture.
That's a
set
This
photo.
is, yeah,
That's like a
which is the same as this.
that's a paparazzi.
No,
set
but
photo.
this is
Oh.
not a paparazzi set
Ah.
photo.
Yeah, that was during production. There was a paparazzi
Yeah.
with probably a super long lens.
paparazzi.
If it's any consolation, Arnold Schwarzenegger has also confirmed that he is currently filming for this next Terminator film.
I'll always be happy to see Arnold.
Yeah,
Even Genesis, I don't mind watching it just to see Arnold's bits.
Yeah.
I really like the two Arnolds facing off.
Yeah.
I like how you said see Arnold's bits.
Yeah, no, that was pun intended. The D800 and the skeleton.
All right, can't wait for this movie, which is scheduled to come out next year, 2019. We would like to see some plot details and possibly where the story could go, because Linda Hamilton's character, Sarah Connor, and Arnold Schwarzenegger are both, getting old. And if they appear in the movie as they do, then I don't see how,
How
this
is it?
Yeah, how is this a direct sequel?
How is it 1997? Because Judgment Day was supposed to be 1997.
Well, obviously it's not 1997. It's
No, in the film.
in the film.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's
He probably changed that. There's no longer the Judgment Day of 1997.
probably 2012.
Maybe.
Okay. Michael Caine and Charlie Cox are in a movie that's coming out. Did you guys check out the trailer for this movie called King of Thieves?
I just did, yeah.
It's based on a true story of a heist that happened in London. And it's a bunch of older criminals
Yeah.
doing a weekend heist at a jewelry safety deposit box place. And Charlie Cox is like the new guy on the team. Apparently, it's based on a true story. We saw the trailer just before you guys arrived. It's good.
It looks interesting.
It looks really good. Yeah.
It really goes back to Michael Caine's first few, because he did a lot of crime movies when he was younger.
Yeah. We haven't seen a good crime movie in a while, actually.
Yeah.
The last one I could think of is Snatch.
Yeah, not Italian Job.
Which one? The Mark Wahlberg one?
Yeah.
No, that was bad.
I like
all
that
the
one.
Fast and Furious are crime movies. Think about it. They're stealing people's money
that's true.
and making money at the
Racing and stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm interested to see if Charlie Cox can translate from small screen to the big screen.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Daredevil's coming out in December.
Oh, that's right.
So
New
happy.
season. All right.
I'm so happy.
Cool. Last week we talked about the Godzilla trailer, which was apparently the best thing at Comic-Con, according
Yes.
to Kai. There were a lot of questions that we asked about this trailer because Dell was kind of confused, like, so wait, they're Titans now, they're not monsters.
And they're saving the world.
Saving the world.
from
What's going
extinction?
on?
What?
Okay, there has been some theories, and this is one that is kind of confirmed because we saw in a shot of the trailer that character from Game of Thrones, Charles Dance.
Yeah.
I watched Game of Thrones.
He's in the trailer, and his line in the trailer is "Long live the king."
Hang on.
Sorry.
I just gotta stop you there. What happened to the modesty machine?
Kev said to switch it off for tonight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I can continue. It's back on.
So anyway, Charlie Dance will be playing a terrorist leader who works in a black market that circulates whatever resources that can be gathered from the Titans in Godzilla King of the Monsters. So it's kind of like remember that character Hannibal Chow in Pacific Rim?
Oh yeah.
Ron Perlman.
Yeah.
His character, whenever there's a kaiju, and the kaiju is defeated, he goes in and he sells the organs and he harvests the blood and stuff. Apparently, he's playing a similar character. So it's a situation where he's waking up certain Titans and then hoping they get killed. And then he comes
He's
in.
playing chess.
Kind of, yeah.
Right, okay.
So he's hoping that Godzilla sticks around, long live the king, so that he can keep killing these other Titans.
Wow, that's very nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Really?
It's hard to make a movie. I appreciate the effort that goes into it.
Oh, it's back on.
The modesty machine is back on.
Please turn it back off.
All right, so I don't know what is going on with that plot, but So I've made it pretty obvious before. I love creature features. I really do. Even Jurassic World 2, I saw some bits of it recently online, and I thought, you know what? I'll just enjoy it for the fact that it's a creature feature. So I mean, at most there'll be good monster fights with this one. You know,
At the most.
sorry, at the least.
At the
Sorry,
least.
at the least there'll be good monster fights. At most we'll get a good plot. So I'm okay with it.
Del?
No comment.
No comments at all. DK?
I like to see giant monster fight giant monster.
There you go. All right. So that's 3 of us in this room.
Yeah.
You are outnumbered, sir.
I can live with that.
All right. Okay. Last week, we talked about how they announced the casting for episode 9. We're talking about Star Wars here, of course, and Kai is smiling now. And also, we're told that Carrie Fisher is listed as a cast member. So is Mark Hamill. You're really happy about that.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill has written a tribute to Carrie Fisher following this announcement. He says, "It's bittersweet facing my final chapter without her. She is simply irreplaceable. I'm finding solace in the fact that she won't be replaced and would love the worldwide outpouring of affection from those who loved her when they heard the news." That includes you.
Yeah. It's that history thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
she was there from the first one, and there was always that fear that, because she's gone, we wouldn't be seeing her anymore. So I'm really, really in awe of J.J. Abrams' choice to make the hard decision and try to repurpose old footage and make it work in the plot. Because the easiest thing could have been just write her out.
Yeah, write her out. That was like the cop-out.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it had happened. You mentioned reusing footage from episode 7.
Yeah.
There was a point of contention between Del and yourselves whether or not they would dip into 8. It has been confirmed that they will be using unused footage from episode 8 also of Carrie Fisher.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I mean, I don't feel anything at this point in time for this movie. I don't know. I have been supporting Star Wars, the franchise, for a very long time, even after The Last Jedi came out. But then I think as I age and as the movie aged with me, I feel nothing now.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you numb to it?
I am
it too
numb.
much Star Wars?
No.
No.
It's just
it doesn't have a significance in your life at this point.
Yeah, at this point it's just emptiness.
Wow.
But I really like Solo. I really, really like Solo, and the
I-
world doesn't. So that's where I disconnect again.
I really think it's a matter of, because it's such a personal story for so many people. I'm actually really scared for this movie.
The last movie.
Yeah, and I just want it to end well. I've said this before, I don't care where it goes after this. I just want the Skywalker saga to end well. I'm less excited, more anxious.
So for you, this last movie is kind of like a make or break kind of
It
thing.
really is,
It really
yeah.
is, huh? All right. Speaking of make or break, Incredibles 2, which is a movie we all enjoyed, one of your favorite, your top movie
my
of
number 2.
Your number 2 of 2018. We all saw it. We did a review on this podcast. It was universally liked by all of us. It has crossed $1 billion at the global box office.
Really?
Yes.
14 years, of course.
No, we're talking about the second movie,
Yeah.
which only came out like a month.
waited for 14
Oh,
years.
we waited for 14
Wait,
years.
I
Wait
feel
for
like
40 years.
I'm missing something. Modesty machine off for a bit.
Okay.
What do you mean we all liked Incredibles 2? I
Oh, you didn't?
didn't think it was a big deal.
Oh, really?
He didn't watch the first one.
I did. I
Oh
did.
right, you only watched it recently.
No, I watched it when it came out. I didn't get
Really?
it. Yeah.
Eh? Which one was it? That
Monsters Inc.
oh,
Yeah.
I watched the first one when it came out. I didn't really get it. And then when it celebrated its 10th anniversary, I watched it again. I still didn't get it. And then I watched it this time to watch it before number 2, and I'm like, I must be stupid.
you're somebody who doesn't really enjoy animated movies, though.
No, not really. But I did give this one the benefit
I'm
of the
trying
doubt.
to paint you in a better light.
I watched this one, and there were some moments where I really laughed. I was impressed. I was like, oh, this is hilarious. And that was it.
That was it.
That was it.
Okay.
No,
All right.
it's, I think it's well deserved to have crossed that mark because it really is a movie that stood out among so many animated movies that came out recently, like Ferdinand, like Captain Underpants, and then this Hotel Transylvania 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
also, it
this-
was a competitive summer. For it to have hit $1 billion,
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
it's quite a feat.
It's a good year for Disney.
It's always been a great
It's a
year for
great
me.
year for
Except
Disney.
for A Wrinkle in Time.
I have not seen that one.
You are lucky.
Here's something I hope is a wrinkle in time. It's the firing of James Gunn from the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise.
Yeah.
We talked about this at length on the last episode of this podcast. Now, the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy have penned an open letter calling for James Gunn's rehiring. It's essentially just, a letter that they all shared on their social media feeds. And it's kind of like, it's jabbing at Disney, but not really jabbing at Disney. They're saying he's changed, he's a better person. He has never demonstrated any of the things that he said 10 years ago in those tweets in real life. He's an inspiration to us and to the whole team, and, firing him is not something that we all agree with. But it's not actually criticizing Disney. It's just...
I think they're being very careful with what they said. But it is very touching to see such solidarity with all between all of them. And it's, the Guardians cast has always been kind of close to each other.
Yeah.
So for them to kind of come up like this, I thought, yeah, James deserved this.
Yeah, he deserves some backup at least, having been dropped so quickly.
Yeah. Whether or not this gets him hired is not for us to even...
I don't think he will.
Yeah.
I mean, it is kind of... It was a public matter, sorry.
Yeah.
And it is gonna have repercussions. So it's so hard to gauge where this is gonna go.
You know what they say? In the court of public opinion, that acts much quicker than anything you can ever anticipate.
It's like we said before, it's a shame.
Yeah, it's a shame.
But this letter is mainly for the public, not really for James Gunn. I mean, I'm sure that the whole cast would be behind him already in the first place once they found out the news, or before Disney announced. And this is just for the fans, for us to know that
where they
Gunn
stand.
is being supported by the fans.
To know where they stand, and not for us to sort of debate, like, no, I think they're being quiet and they should do more. Or what.
Because the internet is
forever
just a very bad place. But the saddest part out of all this is that when you talk about how he's a changed man and all that, and he should be forgiven, and it's a parallel to Guardians themselves, because they came from a very sketchy background, and then they band together and they become heroes.
ended up as heroes.
Which is essentially what James Gunn's life has been like in Hollywood.
Except for Star-Lord, because he messed up the plan.
Star-Lord came up with a very good plan, though.
But he didn't follow
He
through.
didn't follow
It
through.
was because of love.
Okay, Del.
All right, here's a bit more news from the MCU. Michael B. Jordan, who plays Killmonger in Black Panther, has said that he could defeat Thanos as Killmonger. And the reasoning is, he says, I think the one thing about Killmonger is that he really plans his attacks and they're well thought out. So if he ever stepped in a situation with Thanos, he would feel confident that he had the upper hand. At the very least, he would know he had a shot.
Okay.
Just shut up.
As much as I like Michael B. Jordan, if Killmonger is that good, he wouldn't have died.
Exactly.
That's true.
That's the simplest way to put it.
Simplest way to put it.
Yeah.
But it's not really up to him, is it? These are written for him and he's just reading off a page. Oh well, we know that he's probably trying to still stay relevant, having been in one of the biggest movies of
He
2018.
is relevant. He's gonna be in Creed 2. He don't need to try.
I forgot that movie was coming out.
There you
I'm
go.
so excited right now.
Yeah.
All right, here's a bit more news. We talked about Marvel, and of course, if you're talking Marvel, you're talking about the Avengers, and more in particular, Avengers 4, which is coming out next year. All very excited for that. Apparently, IMAX may have revealed that Avengers 4 might be released a little bit early, just like what happened this year.
In December of 2018?
No. Probably in like mid to late April. Not because it's currently listed to be released first week of May. I think that's Labor Day weekend in the US. And this year, it was like a marketing ploy to have Robert Downey Jr. tweet Marvel and say, hey, could you move this up a little bit? And then, sure, of course we can, which is obviously all planned out. But IMAX may have shown its hand a little bit by listing it for a little while on their website.
It's about a week earlier again.
IMAX also let loose the schedule for X-Men, Dark Phoenix, as well as New Mutants.
Oh, those are still happening?
So it's still in the IMAX's slate.
Okay. Anyway, let's jump over to DC. And last week we talked about Robert De Niro and how he is being courted to play a certain character in the upcoming Joker movie. You mentioned the comic book character. What was his?
Carl Grissom. Boss
Yeah,
Grissom.
he's the one that gets Joker.
The mob boss, yeah.
The mob boss. Marc Maron, who's a comedian.
Right, yeah.
He is in talks apparently for this Joker movie as well. And he is expected to be playing the assistant to Robert De Niro's character.
Yeah, this really is shaping up to be a mob movie.
Let's hope it'll look better than Venom.
I hope it's a low budget movie.
It is. I mean, relatively low compared to
50
like...
50 mil.
Then it will end up being like that too.
Deadpool was like 80 million or something like that.
With
No,
First
52.
one.
52.
Yeah.
The first one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
First one had a small budget.
So
yeah.
it would produce better quality.
Yeah, so they don't burn too much money. The way I see it, this is not part of the DC Extended Universe. This is the
No.
DC Extended Multiverse, correct?
Yeah.
The worst thing it could be is Suicide Squad. The best thing it could be is Wonder Woman. You know?
When you said Suicide Squad, I immediately switched off.
Shuddered like
Yeah, so even Wonder Woman is not good enough at this point. You gotta step up.
they gotta up the ante for this
Yeah.
one.
They have
it
to
has-
be better than the worst Christopher Nolan trilogy of Batman.
They're not gonna make that. No.
The better than the worst one,
Which is-
whichever the worst one is.
But there is no worst one. All of them are amazing.
Yeah.
That's why it has to be amazing.
We should rank those movies.
We should,
someday.
one day.
Yeah.
Speaking of Batman, it has been widely known that Ben Affleck is, he's Batman, or is he? Or maybe not. He's getting sick of it. He might leave
I'm
the
getting
pod.
sick of it.
We're all getting sick of it. Matt Reeves, who's the director for the standalone upcoming Batman movie, he has addressed rumors that Ben Affleck is hanging up his cowl. He says that, we're not saying that he's not in the movie anymore, essentially, but right now...
We're not saying he is.
Right now, DC is, kind of doing different things because of that Joker movie we just talked about, which is like a
Right.
standalone art piece.
Yeah.
And when that happens, there will be essentially 3 versions of the Joker.
Perfect.
Perfect. So,
So they're making 5
knows?
versions of Batman.
5 versions of Batman.
Most you could do is 4 if you can't. You guys were taking. Okay, all right.
What?
No, because in the comic books, there's 4 distinct versions of Batman right now.
Really?
Yeah. So that's why it's confusing.
Is
I
it
know.
all Bruce Wayne? Or there's-
One of them was James Gordon.
What?
He was Batman. Yeah.
Which universe was this?
The main Earth.
Oh,
Yeah. It's weird.
that is so weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless-
Was there an Oracle in that universe?
Yes.
Is it
it's
still
still
his
Barbara
daughter?
Gordon.
Still his
yeah.
daughter? Wow. Okay. See, I know some.
If he hang his cowl and pass on to Batman Beyond,
That would be nice.
that would be awesome.
And Batman Beyond would be Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, coming back.
Oh,
Okay.
right.
Nah. All right, Ben Affleck. He's kind of, this one-man show when it comes to his smaller films. He's demonstrated that he can write, direct, and act, and, the movie is really good in movies such as Argo.
Only Argo.
Only Argo.
Because
The town
the-
was
The
good.
town
he
was
wasn't
good.
He wasn't in the town, was he?
He was.
He
He,
was in the
directed
town,
and
yeah.
wrote the town.
Yeah.
No, as in he was starring him as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jeremy Renner.
I've only seen once.
Okay.
But then there's what was that comes at night or
Live by Night.
Live
Live by Night.
Oh,
Yeah, I've not seen
so
that.
slow.
That was
Anyway, he's set to direct a McDonald's Monopoly heist movie. Now, this is a true
oh
story.
yeah, they bought the rights.
They bought the right. No, it's still a toss-up. It's kind of like he wants to do it, and he's the front contender to doing it. Kai is sort of looking at me, going, "What is this movie all about?" It's about a guy who sort of cheated this whole McDonald's Monopoly thing that was big like 2 years ago, where you stood a chance to win like I don't know how many hundreds of
million.
$1 million. So he cheated and rigged the system, and he got away with it. But then they checked, and it's like, wait a minute, you cheated, and then it's kind of like its own heist.
Interesting. Okay.
So apparently the rights were sort of being fought over by Fox for Ben Affleck, Universal for Kevin Hart, and Warner Brothers for Steve Carell and his friends, and Netflix for Robert Downey Jr.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Between this entire list, it would be the toss-up between RDJ and Ben Affleck, in my opinion.
Oh my god, you mean Iron Man and Batman?
Yeah, I didn't realize that because I've seen Ben Affleck play that kind of character before. Kind of like the hustler, kind of con man type, and he does a good job.
That was a very bad movie though.
What are you talking about?
Don't say the accountant.
No, something like a liar. It's like a two of the same word. What is it? The one with Justin Timberlake.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm talking about his role in Good Will Hunting.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, like the street
Makes more
smart
sense.
kind of School of Hard Knocks kind.
Savvy,
Yeah.
heartthrob kind of guy.
And I have no doubt that
Runner.
never seen it before. So I can imagine Robert Downey Jr. doing it. I can imagine Ben Affleck doing it. So it's a toss up for me.
I guess they have the weight to do it.
Yeah.
They've got the weight
Unless
to do
both of them wanted to direct it.
Oh, that would be nice. How are we feeling about Ben Affleck leaving as Batman though? If he leaves, how are we feeling about that?
it. I don't know. Like,
Huh?
I've always said that
Leave lah.
Wow, Del.
That's one way to put it. Yeah.
He's a savage.
Why hang on to this version of Batman?
Because I think he deserves a great Batman
He
film.
does. Don't get me wrong. I would watch him as Batman again because I thought he was one of the best parts.
That's really not saying much, though.
Yeah, truly. But because of all this that has happened between then and right now, and we don't even know what's happening, I'm very tired of speculating whether he or not he is leaving or he's not leaving. Yeah. So if you wanna leave, leave. If you don't wanna leave, don't leave.
Who would have thought 5 years ago that Batman would have been the problem in the DC universe, right?
Yeah.
He's the most stable character there is. He's the biggest moneymaker there
He
is.
always has been since the 80s.
Since the Burton films,
Yeah.
Who would have thought they would have had a problem with producing a Batman movie?
So much contention.
Right?
Right.
You wouldn't
So-
have thought about it.
It speaks volume to how they are managing the current DC universe.
Shazam is done.
Yeah, Shazam
Shazam
is
is
done.
done.
I hope he
With
has.
Zachary Levi.
And they
done
can't
shooting.
do a Batman solo.
With Ben Affleck. It blows my mind.
All right, I want to get your thoughts on this. Well, it's not really news. It's something that we knew about, but we didn't want to believe it was going to happen, and apparently now it's happening. The Flash movie is set to start production in February of 2019.
Let's talk about it in February when it starts.
Yeah. Until we've seen
Yeah.
paparazzi behind the scenes
Yeah.
footage.
Yeah. Let's talk about... You know, I feel so bad for the main DC characters.
Yeah.
Flash, Batman, Superman.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Green Lantern doesn't exist. Yet, here's Aquaman, here's Shazam, here's Suicide Squad 2, here's Harley Quinn. But
Yeah.
Batman, Superman, The Flash have just not made it.
I'm half expecting next week on the podcast we will be announcing a story where it says that the Flash movie has been pushed back to May of 2019.
Oh, the director dropped out.
Director
You know
dropped out.
when I think the next big change will happen? After Aquaman.
After Aquaman.
There's guaranteed. Things will either speed up or super slow down.
No. Wait. After Aquaman is Shazam.
No. Aquaman is December. Shazam's still a few months away.
No, like we will get Aquaman first, then we will get Shazam, right?
Yeah, what I
So-
mean is production for these films.
Okay.
Like, after Aquaman, they'll realize, oh wait, no. We'll need to do something more or something less. It's the same thing with BVS, right? Because the idea was BVS would release, Flash would go into production, Aquaman would go into production. The only thing that happened was Aquaman went into production.
Which still cements the fact that WB is still very reactionary to what the market is
Yeah.
like,
So-
or how they receive the movies.
At this point,
And they have no
the
plans.
Flash movie's already a year behind.
Yeah.
It was supposed
Yeah.
to have started production this year.
Yeah. You're right.
If they can drag as long, I'll be very happy because I still cannot accept
Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller as Barry Allen.
Yeah.
Okay. So Warner Brothers is definitely a studio that's, reacting to the how movies
and
are received.
also sadly to say, Lucasfilm as well now.
As well,
yeah.
yeah.
It's so
They're in the same boat, with regards to the crowd reaction. Here's a story that I don't know how to react to. Priyanka Chopra, is in talks to join Chris Pratt in a Cowboy Ninja Viking movie.
Yeah.
It's a comic book.
yeah.
She's gonna be playing the love interest.
Right. Okay. I know which comic book you're talking about.
I know nothing about this comic book.
Neither do I. I've seen posters. That's about it.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's a character with a schizo condition where he thinks one he's a Viking, another one he's a cowboy.
And another one is a ninja.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I think she already landed the role.
Really?
She's not in talks. She's already landed the role.
She's landed the role.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Alright.
I just don't see any chemistry at all
Yeah.
happening because every time you put like a Hollywood American actor with an Asian actress, they never seem to gel. I have
Have
not
you not
had,
seen the Johnny Knoxville and Jackie Chan masterpiece?
I mean, I'm talking about romance,
Oh, right.
chemistry. Yeah.
Have you not seen Scorpion King?
No, I have not. I have not.
What was the name? Kelly Who? Was it Kelly
Oh
Who?
yeah,
With The Rock? No.
Kelly Hu. Oh yeah, what happened to her?
Oh yeah.
She's on Arrow.
Is she?
She's on Arrow.
Yeah,
she played someone on Arrow. I can't remember.
This new season, right?
The last four seasons.
What? Really?
Okay.
I stopped watching. I don't know.
Bruce Willis, a guy who's been in the the action movie scene for the last 30 years, I'd like to think. Del, you just recently watched the roast of Bruce Willis, the Comedy Central special. I watched it too. I thought it was okay. He's of course more well known for Die Hard.
Yeah.
Apparently there is a movie called Die Hard Year One,
Yep.
which is supposed to be the prequel to the Die Hard series. And it says that it will be happening fairly soon. Still starring Bruce Willis.
Yeah. It will be like a passing of the torch because
another one.
He will be making decision as well as to finding a new younger John McClane.
John McClane.
Yeah, for the past.
Yeah, for the past.
Apparently, it says in this article that it's going to be like a time jump thing. So, they're going to see him as an old man and then he might reminisce and then they sort of go to like the younger
I think
Bruce
what I read was he's investigating something that he investigated when he was a young cop.
Something like that, and how...
So, like 1970s.
Yeah, and how
So it's like a flashback.
how it's affecting him, now as old man John McClane.
Yeah.
Die Hard is one of the most... It's so disappointing as a franchise. Like, it started off so good. And then by Die Hard 5, which I watched all the Die Hards.
Yeah, we all did.
What is going on?
So bad.
Why?
1 was good, obviously.
One
It was
was
an
great.
origin. 2 was okay because, I like the whole idea of the airport thing.
Yeah, then 3 was really
3
good.
was
3
really
was
good.
Sam Jackson.
Sam
Yeah,
Jackson
that
was
was
in
really
there.
good. And then
Yeah.
4 was, And then 5 was what is going on?
Yeah.
And whereas, like other franchises...
Whenever you bring like an iconic character, you give him a son,
Yeah.
it goes down the drain, just like Indiana Jones.
Actually, I'll tell you what went wrong with Die Hard 5. Jai Courtney.
Yeah.
He was one of the better actors in Suicide Squad, and that's not saying much.
That was really funny though when he popped out. And he
Yeah.
was like, I was playing Macho with my Nana, and then he just punched someone. I was like, that's funny. And then the movie went downhill. But I don't know how to feel. Obviously, I know I'm saying it now. I'm going to be super excited when it comes out. I just don't feel the same way about Die Hard as I feel about Rocky or Rambo or Mission Impossible at this point.
I think they should stop. Like, at this point, stop.
The premise of the movie sounds interesting, but it can just be a movie itself and not be Die Hard.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Okay, here's something that could potentially be really bad. Space Jam 2, which is a movie which is a sequel, obviously, to the first Space Jam movie from 1996.
Original soundtrack by R. Kelly.
I Believe I Can Fly. It may have found a new director.
You
Apparently,
mean they have a previous director?
Justin Lin was previously attached as the
okay.
director. Okay?
Okay.
There is a new guy called Terrence Nance who is set to helm Space Jam 2. I don't think they should make this movie.
Yep.
I think it was a product of the 90s, and if you look back at it, the 90s weren't exactly the best time for creating stuff.
No.
So let it kind of stay in its own time capsule, you know what I mean?
This has the same stench as the Emoji Movie.
I have not seen the Emoji
consensus
Movie.
is don't make it.
Yeah, I have not seen the Emoji
I've
Movie.
not seen it too.
It's been a while since I watched Space Jam, but I remember watching it the last time I did, which is maybe 2 years ago. And it was fine. It was okay. It was a thing that you had on in the living room and you just did other things.
Yes.
Yeah,
It was fun in the 80s because Bugs Bunny was fun.
and he was popular and relevant.
and we all knew every single character.
Yeah.
But if you do
So-
it now,
They're gonna bring in Superman, Batman because it's under WB.
like what is...
I don't know what to make of this movie. I keep thinking every now and then there's news. I keep thinking it's a joke.
We're spending too much time on Space Jam 2. Last bit of news on this week of the Wayang Crew Podcast. We have been toying around and we want to see the Fast and Furious franchise reach 10, which is where they're going. Okay, Fast and
You
Furious 10.
do?
Well, I want to see it just for the fact that I have money riding
I
on...
want to see Mission Impossible 10.
No, I have money riding on the fact that they'll end up in space for Fast and Furious 10.
Okay.
Tom Cruise has considered taking the Mission Impossible franchise to space.
If there's one man who can take a franchise to
Yep.
space, it's Tom Cruise.
That I would want to see.
Yeah.
We've had a conversation about this before recording.
Yeah.
Or like a couple of days before. Didn't we? We're talking about Mission Impossible is the next thing they can do is go to space.
Go to space.
Because after 6, after all the excitement and all this making it bigger than it ever was, where can you go from it?
Space.
Yes, space.
I would totally watch that.
Yeah.
And if there's one man who could do it, it's him.
It's Ethan Hunt.
Yeah.
I would like to see the mission briefing in the beginning of the movie.
Your
for-
mission, should you
for
choose to
that
accept
movie.
it. Yeah.
The terrorist organization called, I don't know, the Syndicate has hijacked the moon.
or the International Space Station.
Whatever it is. So that's the news this week
They've
on
discovered a new planet and they're gonna call it
Nibiru.
Ethan Hunt.
Oh.
Planet Hunt.
Antopia. Antopia.
Okay, so that's the news this week on the Wayang Crew Podcast. If you want to get in touch with us here on the show, check out our contact links down below, which takes us to the next bit of this show, which is a discussion this week about the Mission Impossible franchise and where we think they rank from best to worst or worst to best. How would you like to do this?
We could do worst to best.
Worst to best. All
I
right.
think it's safe to say what the worst movie is. I think everyone will be in what's the word?
Agreement.
Yeah, I don't know
Consensus
why I
is,
went.
yeah.
Unanimous
I went
agreement.
blank. Yeah,
Of course, it's Mission Impossible 2.
yeah.
That-
Anyone disagree?
No.
No.
Nope,
Okay.
it's in my
So-
bottom list.
That movie
So we
with,
can-
with John Woo and doves and...
Yep. So we can rank the top 5 from here. on.
So that's in the rubbish bin.
Yeah.
Now it's where, in 5th position, this is where the real countdown starts.
Yeah.
For the 5th position in the franchise, I think it's Mission Impossible 1.
Yeah.
Yep.
For me.
Me too.
Yep.
Same.
Because it was the first movie that they put out after Tom Cruise got the rights for Mission Impossible. It's his franchise, and he's, he was 34 at the time, which is 24 years ago. Or
Yeah.
22
years ago.
It's the movie with the least amount of action.
Yes.
It really is, yeah.
A
It was
lot of-
more about the plot.
More about the plot. John Voight was in it.
Yeah, he
playing-
was. Playing the original character.
We saw masks in there for the
Yes,
first time, which
yeah.
was kind of cool, harkening back to the 1960s TV series. But I think that for its time, like the mid-90s, it was too heavy of a plot story. Because if you remember, like in the mid-90s, we had super action-packed movies like Space Jam, which was like a turn off your brain kind of thing.
Kickboxer.
What was that? Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Yeah. Godzilla, 1998.
Never happened.
Anyway,
It gave us one of the most iconic scenes from the franchise, which is Tom Cruise hanging down from
Yeah, and the sweat,
ceiling
yeah.
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 from the sweat. Oh,
From the
yeah.
Yeah. From
Not the
sweat.
sweat.
The sweat.
No, but this movie was not an action movie.
No,
This
it
was
a
a
spy movie.
Yeah, a spy thriller. There is even drama in there, so it's a very slow paced movie, and it's made out to be that way. I don't think they knew what they wanted to do with it yet. And then after this first one, Tom Cruise decided to up the action and found, unfortunately, a Hong Kong action guru to come in and direct this movie.
He found Mr. Wu.
Yeah, he did.
And skipping over this one.
All right, that's at number 5.
To-
So
Four.
2 and 1 are the bottom, right?
2 and 1,
6 and
Yeah,
5.
for
Yeah.
me at the
The
bottom.
4 is the next 4 that's gonna be interesting.
I think that the movie that's better than Mission Impossible 1 is Mission Impossible 4.
Same.
Like
Same.
Ghost Protocol.
Wait, that's 4.
Yeah, that's 4. That's one where the Kremlin blew up. That's the one where he was disavowed.
Yep. That's the Burge.
Yeah, that's the first time we saw Alec Baldwin's character.
Yeah. No, oh wait.
No, he was in number 5.
He
He was in there in 4.
Wasn't he?
Okay,
Don't think so.
Fourth one is
Wait.
We saw
Ghost
Jeremy
Protocol,
Renner,
right?
but-
Oh, yes, Jeremy Renner.
We didn't see Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin was in 5.
5. He was leading the CIA, and at the end, he retired from the CIA to be in the IMF.
Ah.
Because in Ghost Protocol, when we met Jeremy Renner, he was in the limo sitting beside somebody
Yes.
else who got
Yeah.
killed.
Yes, who is that guy?
He was the Secretary of Defense.
Yeah, he was the guy there to shut down the whole thing, right?
yeah.
Okay, so Ghost Protocol, Mission Impossible 4, which was the one at the Burj Khalifa,
Yeah.
where he did his ridiculous ballet outside on the outside of
Yeah,
that
yeah.
world's tallest building for real.
Yeah.
Ballet?
Yeah, I mean, he was like swinging and remember?
Okay, yeah. I don't know why ballet though.
Oh, the suction thing. He had
Yeah,
to go
yeah.
to the other
Yeah.
floor.
I say ballet because the behind the scenes video that you see, it's him just like, doing spins and
Oh,
he's just
okay.
hanging and he's running down the whole thing. And anyway, that was a breathtaking sequence.
It really was.
It's not my number 4 though.
It's not your number 4.
My
What?
number 4 would be Rogue Nation.
Ooh,
Oh,
interesting.
the 5th movie in the franchise.
Yes,
Ah.
Rogue Nation. Although there was a very intense sequence involving underwater stunts.
Yeah.
But I still think, in terms of the whole story and comparing to the others, I think this would be ranked number 4.
Okay.
I will accept that, but
Yeah.
You can't not accept it.
We'll accept
That's my
it.
opinion.
Yeah.
okay, we'll accept it. Okay. Moving on from this, I think
Number 3.
Number 3 spot for me would be Mission Impossible 3.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, I will put Rogue Nation.
Oh, you'll put Rogue Nation.
Yes.
I think it's 3 because I was okay with the movie. It's just that I didn't buy the motivations for Ethan Hunt. Because right off the bat, he comes back from being a trainer into active duty again because his protege is
Yeah.
missing.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a bit thin because you've moved on, and if this was any other government agency, you would have sort of walked away, or maybe just been on the task force to help locate her. But that's about it.
I think the reason why I put Mission Impossible 3 slightly higher than that is because of that opening.
The
with
one-
Philip Seymour Hoffman, the countdown, that is tense. That really sets the tone for the film. And there's that whole betrayal between Lawrence Fishburne was the good guy, whether it was Billy Crudup was the good guy. It's just a guessing game all the way.
Yeah.
And I really felt that it was a very tense story. And yeah, I think that's why. Rogue Nation, again, I think we should also put a disclaimer. There's such little differences in these positions because they're all so good.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like so tight. This race is so tight. I would put Rogue Nation because I felt that the Syndicate could have been explored a bit more, which obviously is explored in Fallout.
Yeah.
But I was hoping for a conclusion in number 5. But obviously they concluded it in number 6. And the reason why I say so is because I wasn't a fan of Tom Cruise because there was a 6-month time jump in number 5 where Alec Baldwin is looking for Tom Cruise and Benji has like a desk job and he gets called in every day, I think, or every week.
Yep.
I just felt that wasn't really of a strong sequence there.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wasn't really big on number 5.
Okay.
I like it, but not. So for me, it's number 3.
This is getting confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
confused too.
Rogue Nation is in 3rd place.
All right.
Okay.
Fine. For Kai.
Okay, Rogue Nation is in
Yeah.
third. My third is number 3, Mission Impossible 3. But in a completely different reason because, like I said, they're all so close now. And number 3 gave us, to this date, is still the best villain in Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah.
It's just that a lot of things along the way to get to, what was it? Hong Kong or China? I think it's China, right?
China, yeah. Where he had to
Shanghai.
jump off the building.
Yeah, he was running from
Yeah.
the rooftops. It took a lot of assumptions from the audience point of view to just ride along with it.
Yeah, because they would have just stepped off too. It's like, really, is this really a franchise we want to see again?
No. As in the story, the plot wise, it took a lot of. It was very thin to get to the end of the movie. Yeah, so we had to make a lot of assumptions. Like, this is the first time we see Tom Cruise flying around the world when he is like disavowed and he has nothing, but he still manages to get on a plane that is not his and not his country, and it's just there, like, very convenient.
And then he's in China.
Nothing wrong with being in China. I thought that whole sequence at the end was very good. The takedown of Philip Seymour Hoffman was also very good. But it's just that I think overall as a movie, the others would be higher than this one. So I'm putting this as where are we now?
Third
Number
place.
3.
3,
Third
yeah.
place.
Yeah, number 3.
Wasn't Mission Impossible 3 the one where there was a scene in the Vatican?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I love that sequence.
Tom Cruise as a priest. That was...
What about Nikkei?
I'm confused with the number right now. But speaking of Mission Impossible 3, the best scene was Philip Seymour Hoffman acting as Tom Cruise, acting as himself, choking to not reveal that he is Ethan Hunt.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
That's why it's so tense.
That was amazing.
Because the voice synthesizer wasn't programmed
and
yet.
it was all the amazing performance of Philip Seymour Hoffman. That was amazing.
It's sad that he's no longer around.
Yeah.
Which brings us to our number 2 spot. For me, Mission Impossible 5, Rogue Nation.
For me, it's number 3.
For you, it's number 3. All right, we've talked about that already at length. Anyone disagree?
Mine is Ghost Protocol.
The fourth movie.
Yeah, that was the fourth movie is when Brad Bird really made it into a team effort. You can see that it is he played with all the characters and they all had something to do, and that is what Mission Impossible is to me. Watching the TV series, because it's usually a team
Like
effort.
everyone does their part.
Yeah.
And it only works when they all do their parts.
Yeah, because at the end of 3, it's only Tom Cruise versus Philip Seymour Hoffman. So this is the first time we get a team action.
Okay. Nikkei, anything else to add to that?
I am so confused with where
Well,
the
number
ranking
2. So
now.
number 2. What's your number 2?
Oh, my number 2 is Mission Impossible 3.
I'm still thinking of how to name this episode.
So confused.
Yeah. Number one spots for
Fallout.
me. Fallout.
Fallout.
Yeah.
Fallout.
The most recent movie in the franchise, the
Yep.
sixth movie, Mission Impossible 6,
Yeah.
Fallout. I think it's the best.
It really is because it tied the whole franchise together.
Yeah.
I liked it.
No arguments. Okay.
No.
I liked it because when I watched it, I was on the edge of my seat throughout the whole movie. It's
That's
like
true.
it's like you know it's gonna be action, you know it's gonna be exciting. Oh, but you just oh my god, like what's going on? What's going on?
Yeah.
I was saying in our review that I was watching the screen. Obviously, you see Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt, and you're like, he's not gonna die because they can't kill him
Yeah.
off. And then he does a stunt, and you're like, he could die.
He's gonna crash with the helicopter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's falling off the thing. Oh, okay, he caught the cargo thing. All right, cool. But there was that split second. You're like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like always on the edge. Like I don't know how the director do it. Like this director is amazing.
Chris McQuarrie.
Yeah.
But I think even more amazing is the man behind all these movies. It's Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Like he puts himself out there.
I cannot wait to see him go to space.
There
Did you
go.
see the behind the scene of the parachute? I mean,
The
he
Halo
jumped-
jump,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was amazing.
That was really him, and he also
Yeah.
did something with James Corden.
Yeah.
For the talk show.
Oh, okay, I
They
didn't
both
watch
jumped
that.
out the plane. It was hilarious. Anyway, so that's our countdown of the best Mission Impossible movies. There is only one bad one and 5 good ones. We just gave you our thoughts on the whole franchise, and we can't wait to see more.
Yeah.
Please go to space. Very
Before
quickly.
Fast and Furious.
Before Fast and Furious. Very quickly, because we're running out of time, let's sort of talk about the movie that we will be reviewing next week, hopefully, which is The Meg. And it's a giant shark movie. The reason why it's called The Meg is because they're referring to a megalodon, which is an ancient shark about the size of a bus. They don't exist anymore, or so we think. And in this movie, they stumble across one, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. Okay, so we're in the land of make-believe now. Okay.
No.
Well, you don't believe in Yetis and Loch Ness?
I do, but I don't believe in
Megalodon?
Megalodons? No?
No.
Oh, you
Why?
cynical. This is a line from Tom Cruise, isn't it? Cynical world.
I'll go back to my modesty machine.
Okay.
Accepted though.
All right.
Thank you.
Sure. So yeah, The Meg's coming out next week. I'm a big fan of like shark movies. I mean, there's something about watching a big shark on the screen.
Eating people up.
Well, I wasn't gonna say that, but causing destruction. It's not the best shark movie, but I'm a big fan of Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah, I watched that in the cinema.
Yeah, so did I.
Thomas Jane, Sam Jackson, right?
Sam
LL
Jackson's
Cool
in there.
J.
No,
Sam-
LL Cool J.
LL Cool J as the chef.
Right, yeah. That was, I remember being scared.
And that
Sam
was
Jackson was in it too, but
Yeah.
that was the first movie that I've ever seen where a shark swims backwards.
That is true.
I'm like, oh wow, all right. It's a bad movie, but I still like it. I saw it recently, and to me, it's just like it still holds up.
Okay, yeah, I remember watching that in the cinema, thinking this is scary.
How old were you?
I was like 8 or 9.
Oh, is it that old?
It's 1999.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I think a better shark movie than Deep Blue Sea would be A Shark's Tale. Is that
Sure, that works.
that's a movie?
Yeah,
That's a movie.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, though.
Yeah.
That's the Will Smith one where he
Yeah.
plays Oscar the Shark Slayer.
Yeah.
And Robert De Niro is the voice of the shark.
Yeah.
Oh no, I forgot
So
about that
good.
movie.
That
That was a car wash.
Yeah, that's right. Christina Aguilera, the greatest singer of all our
Oh
time.
my god.
There's also Jaws, which is the gold standard.
The gold standard. Most people don't know this, but the reason why Jaws is the way it is, and most of the shots were from the perspective of the shark, was because they didn't have the budget to shoot with like a fake shark.
Yeah, that's true.
So Steven Spielberg had to improvise, and he thought that the best way was to not show the shark, and that was scarier than actually seeing it, because there's that sense of terror. And the shots at the time from the shark's perspective, seeing legs just below the waterline, that was sort of revolutionary at the time because it never had been done.
Which does not work in this age anymore.
It does not,
Because we want to see
we want to see the monster.
Yeah.
we want to see how good the CG is.
what would the movie Godzilla be if we keep having to see from Godzilla's point of view.
It would be like watching a movie from a skyscraper's point of view. We'd probably see Dwayne Johnson hanging at the side.
Yeah.
Helicopter.
Yeah.
Oh no.
We cannot forget the most revolutionary shark franchise of all time, Sharknado.
Oh.
Oh my goodness.
Come on, guys.
I wasted like 1.5 hours of my life.
Really? Because I
watching
found
that.
life's purpose 1.5 hours later.
They're up to Sharknado 4?
Yes.
Only 4 though.
But
So you
are they
can-
doing Sharkmageddon? What's happening?
What?
Oh,
I'm sure it's the one that they goes to space, right?
No, that's space. I don't know.
There's
Maybe.
a Sharktopus.
Yeah. Sharktopus, that was
no.
funny. What about Mega Octopus versus Giant Shark? You guys seen that?
Nope.
Oh, you guys are missing out.
What
I
is-
don't know.
What
man.
is Mega Octopus?
What counts as missing
I saw that. I watched that.
It's from the asylum.
I think I've seen the poster and like the Mega Octopus is eating the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yes, and then there's a shark coming from
There
that.
you go.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I have seen the poster, not
Yeah.
the movie.
I saw it was on.
If you're talking about sharks as well, Aquaman.
That's people riding sharks. So anyway, I think that's all the shark movies we can cram in at this
Yeah.
point. The Meg is showing next week in local cinemas. Check it out. We will be reviewing that, hopefully, depending when it comes out. But yeah, I guess that's the episode this week for the Wayang Crew Podcast. We don't have a movie this week, but next week we will be giving you, of course, a review of the Meg.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess that's the episode. It's kind of late. We're all kind of tired. We've had a long day. This is Kev signing off for the Wayang Crew. We'll see you next week. Bye.